Today we're doing math pages 9 and 10. Proverbs 6:6 says, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise." Okay, let's go ahead and look at number 1. The directions tell us to work the problems and write the correct terminology beside each number in A. And that terminology we see at the top of the page where it says factor, factor, product. So first let's work out the problem. To work out these multiplication problems, we're going to use the spray method where we go 7 times 6 and then 7 times 7. So let's start with the 7 times 6. 7 times 6 is 42. So we need to put a 2 here and carry the 4. Now we'll do 7 times 7, which is 49, plus the 4 would be 53. We get 532 for our answer. And then if you look at the top of the page, it shows that this would be your factor. And this is your other factor. When multiplying numbers, you have the two factors. And then the answer to a multiplication problem will be the product. So factor, factor, and product. And they have this in the top of your page in the yellow box. B, we're doing 96 times 4. So we'll do the spray method again. 4 times 6 and then 4 times 9. 4 times 6 is 24. So we put a 4 here and we carry the 2. Now we'll do 4 times 9, which is 36, plus the 2 would be 38. And we get 384. Go ahead and circle your answer. C, we have 89 times 6. So the spray method, we'll do 6 times 9 and then 6 times 8. Start with 6 times 9, it gives us 54. Put a 4 there, carry the 5. Now we'll do 6 times 8, that gives us 48, plus the 5 would give us 53. We get an answer of 534. D, do 3 times 4, that's 12, so we put a 2, carry the 1. 3 times 3, that's 9, plus the 1 on top would be 10. We get 102. Let's look at number 2. It says find the products. Remember, the product is the answer to these multiplication problems. And it says to watch for carrying. And so we see that right away. We do 6 times 5, we get 30. So we've got to put a 0 and then carry the 3. 6 times 7 would be 42. Plus the 3 on top would give us 45. 6 times 9 gives us 54, plus the 4 on top gives us 58. Remember, whenever you put commas, you count 3 places over. So starting here, you start right there, and you go 3 places over. 1, 2, 3. And that's where your comma will go. Circle your answer, and it's 5,850. 50. B, 7 times 9 is 63. So we'll put a 3 and carry the 6. 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 6 more would give us 20. So we put a 0 and carry a 2. 7 times 3 gives us 21. Plus 2 more would be 23. Remember, you start right there and you count 3 places over. 1, 2, 3, and that's where your comma will be. 2,303. C, 5 times 6 is 30. Put a 0, carry the 3. 5 times 8 is 40. Plus the 3 on top would be 43. Carry the 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Plus 4 more would be 24. Count 3 places over, and that's where your comma will go. 2,430. D, 6 times 9 is 54, so we'll put a 4 here, carry our 5. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 5 more would be 5. 6 times 2 is 12, so we'll put a 2 and carry the 1. And 6 times 3 is 18, plus the 1, that would give us 19. Count 3 places over, put your comma, and we get 19,254. E, 7 times 1 is 7. 7 times 2 is 14, so I put a 4 here and I carry a 1. 7 times 9 is 63, plus the 1 on top would be 64. And 7 times 8 is 56, plus 6 more would be 62. We'll put our comma 3 places over. We get an answer of 62,447. Okay, number 3. Number 3 tells us to write add, subtract, or multiply beside the clue words. 3a, when you see times, that means to multiply. Let's just do C. Let's go down here since I have it on my screen. C says both. When you see the word both, you're generally going to add. E, when you see the word more than, the words more than, you're generally going to subtract. G, the sum, that means an addition problem. The sum is an answer to an addition problem, so let's put add. I, when it says in all, how much is it in all? Then you're adding. We'll write add. Okay, now we'll look at B. B, the first one, it says the difference. When you see the word the difference, it means to subtract. Less than, that means also to subtract. F, the product, if we look up at the top of this page, the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So if it's asking for the product, we multiply. H, it's asking for the change. When you're figuring out change, you need to subtract. And J, all together, that's when you add. Subtract, subtract, multiply, subtract, and add on that side. Okay, 4A, we'll do these story problems. 4A says, the state of Georgia has 159 counties. Colorado has only 63 counties. How many more counties does Georgia have than Colorado? To figure this out, we have to, and we look back at E, more than, what do you think we have to do? We see more than, we have to subtract. We're going to subtract our two numbers we have here. We have 159 minus 63. 9 minus 3 gives us 6. 5 minus 6 we can't do, so we borrow from the 1, that makes it 15. 15 minus 6 gives us 9. And our answer is 96 counties. B, the boys and girls had running races at recess. The girls beat the boys 5 times, but the boys beat the girls 6 times, as many times as the girls beat them. How many times did the boys win? Well, the key word there is how many times. And if we look back at what we talked about earlier again, when it's times, we need to multiply. So we know that the girls beat the boys 5 times. But we know that the boys beat the girls 6 times as many times as they did. So it's 5 times 6. So the boys beat the girls 30 times. Okay, and then you're going to turn your page over. We're going to do number 5 together on the other side. Number 5, the directions say to write these numbers correctly. So we have numbers written out kind of funny, and we need to write them the correct way. So the first one, it says 47 million. So we're going to put 47 million. We'll put a comma there. 10,000. So this is what 10 would look like. There's 10,000. 623. So you need to copy it down like that. When I said 10,000, these are your thousands placed there, your 100,000s, your 10,000s, your 1,000s. And so what I did was I wrote 0, 10, because we didn't have 100, but we had 10,000. Hopefully I'll be able to show that again better. Let's do B. B says 95 million. 413,000 and 10. Well, I wouldn't just write 10 here, because in between each comma, now at the end it's different, but when I say at the end, I mean over this way it's different. But in between each comma, you got to have 3 numbers. Just like between here and here, we have 3 numbers, and here 3 numbers. Now at the very top of the number, it may be shorter. But in between each comma, you need to have 3 numbers. And so we don't just write 10 here, because there's only 2 numbers there. But we write 0 and then 10. And then we've got our 3 numbers from the beginning and the comma. Okay, C. C is 2 million, comma, 895,000, 895, comma, 182. Notice that every time there's words, that's when we put a comma. I'll show you what I mean on the next one. It says 432 million, so I'm going to write 432 million, I'll put a comma, 234,000, 234,000, I'll put a comma, 323. E says 16 million, so I'll put a comma, 814,000, so I'll put a comma, and 5. I don't just write 5 though, I need 3 places, so I make it 0, 0, 5. Okay, for 6, 7, and 8, I'm going to have you guys do it on your own, but I want to review. 6 says to find the sums. Remember, the sums are the answer to addition problems. 7 says to find the differences. Remember, the differences are the answers to subtraction problems. And 8 says to find the products. Remember, the products are answers to multiplication problems. So it's important for you guys to start memorizing what the sums, differences, and products are. And we'll go ahead and do the bottom part on our own, number 9. Number 9 says to underline the clue words and write the process sign that would be used to answer the problem. So the first one they did for us, they underlined in all, and then the process sign is a plus sign. So the process signs that we're going to use include plus signs, addition signs, subtraction sign, and a multiplication sign. Okay, let's do B. B says find the difference of the 2 numbers. Well, remember we talked about the difference is a subtraction problem. So go ahead and write a subtraction sign in the blank and underline difference. C. C says how much would they cost if each cost 5 cents? Well, the word each gives us a hint that it's multiplication. D says he caught 4 times as many fish. Remember, when we see times, we know it's multiplication as well. E, what is the sum of all the trees? Remember, sum is the answer to addition problems. So the sum would be addition. F, how much less did the Bible cost? Less is going to be a subtraction problem. G says how many bears are there all together? When you see the word all together, it's an addition problem. And H, how many cookies did she have left? Remember, the word left is a subtraction problem. Okay, you're going to do the rest on your own, but before you do, let's have a little fun. Would you rather? Everybody push in their chairs, stand up. Okay, would you rather come face to face with a 10-foot tall praying mantis, or would you rather come face to face with a 5-foot tall weasel? Weasel kind of reminded me of what we have on island with the mongooses. Okay, praying mantis that's 10 feet tall, or a weasel that's 5 foot tall. Okay, praying mantises usually bite at the neck of their prey to paralyze it before they can eat it alive. So the bite something will make it paralyzed, so it's still alive, but it can't move. Weasels are known for being fast and ferocious. They're not afraid to attack much larger animals. And they've been known to attack humans too when attacked. Weasels can produce a stink that is even smellier than a skunk's stink. Alright, next one. Everybody go back to their seats. Stand up right next to your desk. Would you rather drink liquid that's leaking from a full garbage bag, or chew on a hairy clump found between the cushions of an old couch? Ew, both of these are gross. Would you rather drink liquid that's leaking from a full garbage bag, or chew on a hairy clump found between the cushions of an old couch? The smelliest substance on earth is thought to be ethyl myrtan, a chemical that smells as bad as rotten cabbage, garlic, onions, burnt toast, and sewer gas, all at once. Okay, go stand back at your desks. Would you rather try to run a 3-mile race without shoes and with a 1-pound flat rock tied to the bottom of each foot? Or run the same race while wearing a vest filled with run the same race while wearing a vest filled with 20 pounds of rocks? So which one would it be? Would you rather try to run a 3-mile race with shoes that had a 1-pound rock on the bottom of them? Or run that same race, 3 miles, while wearing a vest filled with 20 pounds of rocks? There was a scientist in Australia that found it was harder to run when extra weight is added on your feet than when it's added on to your middle. It's because when it's on your feet, you lift up and down when you run, which requires your body to use a lot more energy. Okay, this one's kind of a fun one. Would you rather be somebody's pet cat, meow, or somebody's pet dog, woof? There are more than 58 million dogs in the United States. So depending on which one you choose, you either have a lot of friends to play with or lots of bullies to deal with. So don't the dogs always go after the cats? Okay, next one. Go stand at your desks. Would you rather show up to school on your first day of school all muddy and wet because you fell while you were running trying to make it there on time? Or risk being late to school because after you fell, you went home to change? Let's do one more. Would you rather eat 10 pounds of cheese in one sitting, or eat a bucket of peanut butter with nothing to drink? So eat 10 pounds of cheese in one sitting, or a whole bucket of peanut butter with nothing to drink. It takes about 10 pounds of milk to make 1 pound of cheese. So eating 10 pounds of cheese is like drinking 100 pounds of milk. And it takes 850 peanuts just to make an 18-ounce jar of peanut butter. So imagine how many nuts you'd be eating if you had a whole bucket of peanut butter. I know I said that's the last one. Let's do a couple more. Would you rather sleep upside down like a bat, or standing up like a cow? Would you rather sleep upside down like a bat, or would you rather sleep standing up like a cow? Cows do sometimes take short naps while they stand up, but when they're sleeping for real, they lie down on the ground. But bats, they sleep hanging upside down because it puts them in a good position to take off in a flight. It's also a good way to hide from danger because few animals can reach the high places where the bats hang. Alright, next one. Would you rather, go stand at your desks, would you rather swim across a river that's filled with crocodiles, or spend the night on an island where there's man-eating tigers alive? Supposedly, one way to escape the jaws of a crocodile is to jam your thumbs into its eyes until it lets go. And tigers, they don't normally eat people. They usually try to avoid us in the wild, but if a tiger's unable to hunt its normal prey, then it might go after a human if it crosses its path. Okay, next one. Go stand at your desks. Would you rather be really smart but really boring, or be really dumb but you're really funny and entertaining? One study showed that boring people are seen as unintelligent and unfriendly, even if they're smart. And people who laugh a lot and have a good sense of humor are thought to be healthier and live longer. Okay, go stand at your desks. Would you rather eat fried monkey brains, or eat the raw guts from a huge snake? Some Asian cultures, they supposedly eat monkey brains. Rumor has it, live monkeys are strapped into a specially designed table with a hole in it for the monkey's head. And the poor little guy's skull is cut open and the brains are eaten right out of it. Sounds pretty awful, but luckily there's no reliable proof that this has really ever happened. I hope it's never happened. That sounds sad. Alright, next one. Would you rather be able to fly, or be able to turn invisible? One of the most common dreams that people have is that they can fly. Kids have this dream more than adults do. And more than 1/3 of people have dreamt that they can fly at some time during their life. Okay, last one. Would you rather have to wear a big clown nose for 1 month, or a huge Mexican hat for 1 month? There's a dance called the Mexican hat dance. It's so popular that it was made the official dance of Mexico. The dance starts by putting a sombrero, which means hat in Spanish, on the ground. And then men dressed like cowboys and women wearing big, colorful skirts all twirl around the sombrero. Alright, you guys can do the rest on the math on your own. It'll be easy for you because you guys are so smart.